Welcome back to animemaxpodcast. I'm Jennifer, and I'm with Steven. And we're going to finally talk about the 11th Sherlock episode. It's only the reason that every single time we've ended for the past, 2 or 3 episodes, we've just been like, well, we can't really talk about anything. Because we know what's up. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm excited.
Super pumped. Let's jump into it, because we're doing this one a little different. We're doing less recap and more discussion. I have a lot to say, so we're doing big plot points right now. And we'll move through them. So this episode is called Jack the Ripper. Fitting title.
Yeah, a plainly obvious what this episode's about title.
I needed it, though, for my soul. It made me be like, this is the one I need to get to. So, this episode doesn't pick up where the other... Well, at the beginning, doesn't pick up where the other one did. Doesn't always happen. So it starts with Baby Moriarty flashback.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with the flashback of Moriarty and Alexandra. And as soon as I saw this start, the first time, I was like, if I wasn't sure, I was like, oh, I'm so wrong. I was like, Moriarty's not Jack the Ripper.
I know.
Because I was like, he wouldn't kill his sister. He seems like he really loves her. Because for a couple of seconds, I was like, oh, maybe he did kill his sister. And he doesn't like her. And then I saw this flashback, and I was like, oh no, he loves her. He's not Jack the Ripper. And then I panicked. Because I was like, who the fuck is Jack the Ripper? If it's not Moriarty. Now that we've confirmed that he's not. But they show you his sister. She's sick and she's bored. And he comes and tells her stories about the West Side because he sneaks out of their house. And then she sneaks out wearing his clothes. And he's going to sneak out with her. And he's dressed real fancy. And then their dad is knocking on the door. And their dad is Morin. So they're the children of the mayor. You know. And then they show you, Moriarty going back to this party. And then he's, running down the, tunnel. And he sees the sister's dead body. So, life.
That was kind of fast, the way you described that.
It's kind of fast. It's kind of what we're doing. Because I know we're going to come back and talk about it.
Oh. I noticed that the Kabuki toy that Watson was looking for the kids.
Oh, yeah, she has one.
She has one.
I think it's the mascot of that town.
Yeah.
That's why. Because there's people dressed as that mascot at the festival in the second episode. Lucy dresses as it when she's earning money. You just see it around a lot. And I think it's just kind of the mascot of the city. Because there's 3 of them, too. They're different colors. But yeah, she has one. She uses it to talk to him. And she's like, I'm bored. I want to go outside. And he's like, you're sick.
Yeah, and it looked like, because you said the condition is now gone, so I'm wondering what sickness does she have?
Yeah, they never tell you, what she's sick with.
Yeah, they never said it.
Oh, she's sick. And she's so, you assume it is, she's so sick that she can't leave the house. Is the thing. It's oh, she can't leave the house, she's too sickly.
Which what people should be doing with the coronavirus.
We should all just quarantine. Or we should just all go get infected and just take our chances. Because we're all going to get it eventually. We're all going to get it eventually, and you're going to die or you're going to live.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are the 2 options. You're going to survive or you're going to die. We just got to roll the dice, and you're just choosing whether you want to roll the dice earlier or later.
Uh-huh. And I think this is when we find out that Moriarty's name is James.
Oh, yeah. I think they call him James in a past one, too. He introduces himself that way. Like, he introduces himself that way. But he calls himself Moriarty.
Was that his name in the Sherlock novels, or?
Yeah, it's James Moriarty.
Okay.
Dr. James Moriarty.
Because I don't know anything about Sherlock.
Yeah, Dr. James Moriarty. But, like, yeah, it shows him, like, with the sister's body, and then he has blood on his hands, and like, kind of gets it on his face. Just as you do when you see a dead body. And then it cuts back to Kyogoku attacking Watson, and then Irene knocks out Kyogoku. And then Sherlock is, like, picking through Kyogoku's, like, pockets and stuff in a very, like... I imagine the way he is looting Kyogoku's body is how my D&D character looks.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I check for loot on that body. She's, like, going through all his pockets.
I noticed, I think Sherlock was suspicious about Kyogoku.
Well, he's looking to see just what he has, and then he finds in a Ziploc bag this, like, small satchel. And then he, like, takes it. They don't tell you what it is. He takes it.
We do find out what it is later on.
We find out. But Sherlock gets the loot. As you do. And then Moriarty explains how they tricked Watson. There's a long explanation about how they tricked Watson into believing that Irene was dead, and that Watson was, like, they were baiting Jack the Ripper using Watson. And Watson, like, understandably gets mad and says that that's not fair. Which, like, is fair as a reaction.
Yeah, I agree with him. I kind of felt for Watson when he said it wasn't fair that you got to do that, because he was actually worried. He wasn't...
Yeah, he thought Irene died.
Yeah, he thought that
Moriarty
Sherlock was going to die next, and there's a lot of emotions going on, and he just didn't like being manipulated. I guess he didn't like being manipulated to thinking...
And the kids were being a-holes.
Yeah.
I took a picture of him and put him in the database of straight old men that live in the area.
They tell you those kids are rude.
I like those kids. I mean, I like them a lot. But I was just like, yeah, the kids didn't make it better. But, like, he punches Sherlock, and Watson starts crying a little bit. And then Sherlock apologizes. He, like, tells him that he's sorry. And they're just like, wow, Sherlock never apologizes to anyone.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I know, because it's like, Sherlock's a person, and he sees what he did is, like, wrong.
Yeah, like, I really wasn't... Funny thing is, I wasn't really expecting Sherlock to apologize either.
I was not either, but I'm kind of glad that they did it.
Yeah.
I'm also glad that it was, like, immediately undercut by Moriarty being like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's like, so everyone knows this is how his personality is, and they weren't expecting for him to be more like a human person to
have like a human response that's like, wow, I reflected and like realized that I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherlock. But then after that, it cuts to Pipe Cat, and there's like a sign that says, "Story of Jack the Ripper's capture." And Kyogoku is like, they've tied up his like wrists, and he's like sitting there. Everyone is there. So Miss Hudson's there, Lucy and Mary are there, Michael is there, Kobayashi's there. And then those three like ladies show up. I just call them the three ladies. So Maki and the two friends show up. But everyone's kind of talking about like, oh, there's no way that Kyogoku is like Jack the Ripper. There's no way. And everyone's like, Sherlock has to be wrong. There's no way. And then they play Sherlock's Rakugo theme song.
Yeah.
Which, like, let's all talk about that for just a second. It was beautiful. But Sherlock goes on his explanation, which is that he found peyote on Kyogoku, which is a, like, Mexican cactus that is, like, I guess similar to, like, LSD. Like it's a
Oh, that's
hallucinogenic.
what that is? Because I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, it's a cactus, and it's like a hallucinogenic. It's similar to like LSD. It's used a lot. You see it in American media in relation to like Native American like things and like rights and things like that. So Kyogoku had peyote on him. That's what was in that little bag that he pulled out of his like pocket.
Yeah.
And Sherlock says money or love can cause one person to go crazy, and then kind of takes a shot at Kyogoku and says seduction is a good way to get that virgin. I was like, kind of mean, but okay. And then Michael and Lucy and Mary run out. You just see them run away because Moriarty's not there. He ran into Maki and was like, oh, here, I'm sorry, and handed her gum. And then he left. And then you see that Maki is also gone. Sherlock just leaves while continuing to talk.
This was a very weird scene.
He leaves, and then Kyogoku starts freaking out, yelling, this can't be happening. Like, this can't be. He's still tied up and is just there on the tiny stage. But they're saying that, like, as there's this kind of, like, montage of, like, Kobayashi looking for someone and Michael looking for people and, like, Lucy and Mary looking for someone, you hear, like, Sherlock's voiceover is basically kind of saying, like, oh, because they used Watson as their, like, to set their trap for Jack the Ripper, and Jack the Ripper learned through Watson, but the only people that Watson knows are people that go to Pipe Cat. Like, he doesn't know anyone else. And then they start talking about, like, oh, Jack the Ripper killed men? And I was like, when?
Yeah, he did mention about that.
It was like, Jack the Ripper kills men and cuts off their dicks. I was like, oh, okay, that's where we are. I was like, why is this the first time hearing of this? Interesting. But he, like, one of the points they make is like, oh, Jack the Ripper leaves, like, the dick, but will take the womb of a woman. Interesting.
Yeah, because you said the angels had no gender, because it was about angels.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, having neither and having both are two sides of the same coin, and, like, angels have no gender. So, like, let's put that all together. And then Sherlock asks the question, how is an angel like a husband who just got caught cheating? And the answer is they're both about to be covered in blood. So, like, not great, joke-wise. But Maki is trying to leave the east side, and then Sherlock and Watson are there, and they're like, hey, stop. And you find out that Maki is the killer.
Yes. Maki is
Jack the Ripper. She starts fake crying, messes up her makeup, and then starts doing crazy fucking shit makeup.
Yeah, because Sherlock tries to, like, talk to her.
Yeah, Sherlock is like, hey, you're a murderer. And she's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't kill anyone. What are you talking about? And, like, rubbing her eyes, and her makeup is real bad. And then she starts fixing it, and then she starts putting on lipstick like an insane person. Yeah,
it was creepy as fuck.
And then my notes just say weirdo because they never give this person a name yet, and I couldn't remember their name.
Yeah.
But it's like, the weirdo killed Alexis because she was pretty.
Yeah.
No, not Alexis. Alexandra. Why did I call her Alexis? I've been watching too much Schitt's Creek.
I just call him Jack the Ripper because that's what he became.
Jack the Ripper killed Alexandra because she was pretty. And then, like, Moriarty comes in and, like, hits him in the knee with a pipe. And then hits him in the head with a pipe.
I thought it was a bat at first, but it was a pipe.
Yeah, steel pipe. And Jack the Ripper starts talking about, like, oh, he only wants to kill the ones he likes, but if he wants to eat, he needs to work. And that the dad didn't want the sister, because Moriarty's like, no, my dad would never kill Alexandra. And he's like, oh, no, he wants to kill you.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting plot twist.
And so that was the twist. The twist is like, oh, Moreland wants to kill Moriarty. And that Morin is the one who was, like, trying to kill Watson while Watson was on the west side. And then Moriarty's name, so, like, the password for the drive is Moriarty.
Oh, yeah.
And you also see, like, the gum wrapper that Moriarty gave Maki, like, unwrapped, and it says Alexandra in it, whatever. And then Barry and Lucy, Michael, and Kobayashi show up. And Moriarty kills the weirdo right after telling him, like, what Alexandra's last words were, which were like, James, I love you, like, whatever, whatever. The world's a beautiful place. Sunshine and rainbows, whatever. Screw that. It's not important.
It was important.
It's like she wants him to continue to love the world.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Whatever. Beautiful sentiment. The world's garbage, so who really cares? Also, she's dead, so like, what does it matter? But he kills the weirdo guy after it's like very much implied that he eats the wombs that he takes.
Yeah.
And I was like, ew, gross. Don't eat that. And then Moriarty crushes the drive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he crushes it. He takes it from Sherlock, crushes it, because now they know what's on it. It was the, like, kill Moriarty.
Yeah.
Basically, put a hit out on your own son.
Yeah, you described that really fast.
We described it really fast because I really want to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about in this. Because there's more, I feel like, to unpack than there is that, like, really happens. Like, you can describe it really fast, but there's like, a lot to unpack in this. Jesus, where do we even start?
Because there was one part where it was kind of crazy how they pretended how Irene was supposed to die. Like,
oh, in the flashback, in like the explanation of like,
yeah,
here's
the explanation. Because what's messed up is that Moriarty is like, oh, you're gonna have to, like, you know, die.
Oh yeah, because she survived, and it's like, what, her in the hospital room, Moriarty's there, and Sherlock is there. And they're like, oh, we kind of drew out Jack the Ripper, we need to, like, do something more. And Moriarty's just like, hey, I think you should die for a little while.
Yeah.
Just, like, super casually. Just, like, a suggestion that's like, hey, we should go get food. He's like, hey, maybe you should die for a little bit.
Yeah, the way he said it was very casual.
I don't think that's a casual conversation, but okay. Good God.
Well, that's Moriarty for you. He just talks very weird.
I feel so bad for Kyogoku. At the moment when he realized, because you can see the moment where he, like, realizes what is happening and what has happened to him. And I felt so bad for him. Because I was like, he fell in love and, like, thought that he was doing well in that. And he wasn't. And then also realized not only did Maki not love him, but also Maki was using him.
You know what's funny? Because they said the peyote, the hallucinogen that Maki was using, that it said that it does mind control, which I don't think it really does that in actual life. But
I don't think it's mind control. I think it just makes you, like, highly susceptible to, like, suggestion.
Okay, that's what they should have just said. I think the translation is probably wrong.
Yeah, I think it's like a faster way to translate it is like mind control. And I think it's also probably a, like, mind control is going to be easier for, like, a lot of people to understand rather than being like, oh, you're just, like, highly susceptible to suggestion.
That's what I would prefer.
But also that's, like, a lot more words on the screen. So I don't know. There is an art to translation, I think, and picking words. And it was an interesting choice of words because I was like, yeah, that's not correct. But I guess kind of gets the gist of what you're trying to get across. Yeah,
because it's just like, it made me started thinking that, you know, because I was just thinking, because this is fiction and they can do whatever they want. So I just like.
I mean, that might be part of it too. Is they were just like, does that definition difference really matter right now?
Because I was thinking that maybe she controlled Kyogoku to thinking that they had sex, and they really didn't. Oh, well, I mean, not think. Well, they did have. I think he didn't see, because I'm not sure if he saw if she had a.
No, see, this is the thing. It's still up in the air. Like, yeah. If you told me one way or the other, I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be like, oh, okay.
Because we see them having sex, but it's just like, does he know that he's not putting it in a vagina, or?
Also, He seemed shocked when they were making references before everyone left to Maki not being. They made like a reference and he seemed shocked. Yeah. But I don't know if that shock was about that or more just about like, oh, he realized that he was being tricked.
Yeah, because I think he had no idea that she was a he.
I love Kyogoku. I love him forever.
And I did not believe he was Jack the Ripper, not for a second.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that was the worst cover-up of all time. And I'm hoping that it was like, you were meant to be like, yeah, this isn't true. Yeah. Because there's a lot of reasons, right? There was, I lightly talked about this last time, the fact that like his shirt is undone and a little bit, and he's not wearing gloves. Yeah. And I was like, that is not Kyogoku. At first I was like, who's this imposter? I was like, I know what Best Boy looks like.
Maybe he was just being lazy that day on dressing.
No, I was like, I know what Best Boy looks like. Best Boy is scared of blood.
Yeah, he's like, scared of blood.
Best Boy is scared of blood. He always wears gloves and he always like has his shirt buttoned up all the way. So I'm like, this is not Best Boy. Yeah. Something is happening. Also,
maybe it was a peyote.
No, it was. Like, yeah. Also, let's also talk about the fact that, like, if he's going to catch Jack the Ripper and earn the fame and money from catching Jack the Ripper, how would he also be Jack the Ripper? Unless he was going to pin it on a rando. Mm-mm. But, like, how were you going to catch Jack the Ripper and get the money if you are Jack the Ripper? Also, I love Kyogoku, but I'm not 100% sure he's smart enough. Yeah. To, like, pull this off. He's not smart enough to be the mastermind. I love him. He's my favorite character, but I don't think he's, like, brilliant enough. Yeah. You know. Poor Kyogoku. He's had a hard little life.
Yeah, and...
Poor little baby. He just tried so hard.
And isn't it, you know, it was really out of left field that, to me, that to think that Maki was Jack the Ripper, because I didn't see it.
Yeah, okay, so let's also unpack that, because that is my main thing. I went back and I watched the entire show. Like, I watched everything up till now with this, like, new knowledge. Because I was like, oh, would this have been possible to figure out? I could not see. The only things I saw were, like, the people that the kids hit with those water balloons when they're being shitty and throwing water balloons off the, like, overpass. Yeah. They hit Maki. I think, like, the dude version, like, when they're dressed as a dude.
I had to look back at the episode because I didn't pay attention to who they threw the water balloons at.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is, because it's 3 people. One is the shortest, and it's a dude with round glasses. He is kind of drawn rounder and softer. There's someone really muscly, and then there's a really tall person. Mm-hmm. And he has the, like, kind of pointy teeth that they draw Maki with at the end. Yeah. And so that was my thought. I think that it's the 3 of those people. The police officer that stabs Irene is Jack the Ripper. And that's why he has glasses in that when he's there. Yeah. And he's got the pointy teeth.
You think it's true what Sherlock was saying, that the reason why he cuts people's and guys' penises off because he has a small one?
Probably. Probably.
That's what I remember reading, what he mentioned in the subtitles.
Aww.
Yeah.
Sherlock. So weird.
Yeah.
But it makes me
mad. Just... what makes you mad?
I could not find anything. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I didn't see something. Maybe I didn't look at everything that I could have looked at or should have looked at. I could not find anything that would have proven to me that Maki is Jack the Ripper. And I don't like that.
Really?
I don't. Because it feels like they just...
it out.
You what?
They maybe didn't want anyone to figure it out.
Yeah, but then... I don't like that for detective shows. I don't like when they just kind of pull a killer almost out of nowhere. And they're just like, this person's a murderer. I'm like, no. Because I'm like, there's no way to guess that unless you're just taking wild swings. Okay. And you were just like, that person's a murderer.
I guess you wanted them to leave hints.
Like, I wanted it to be like, oh, if I had been super observant, I would have seen this.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I went back and I did not see anything that would have been like, oh, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the like, ooh, Maki's not a lady reference. Because it hits you with a truck.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that does not directly correlate to, oh, Maki's not a lady. That means obviously they're Jack the Ripper.
And
I was like,
I didn't notice.
Track.
I don't know why, but I didn't like the thing went over my head. Like, because I know it was revealed earlier that Maki wasn't a woman, and I didn't pay attention to that. I thought he was still a woman.
Talked about this.
And so when they did the Jack the Ripper episode, and it's like I'm rewatching these episodes for this podcast, and I was like, oh shit. I didn't know that they mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I know we talked about that where you were like, when I was like, yeah, Watson keeps making like very unveiled references.
Yeah.
By asking like, oh, isn't it Prince? Or like, oh, Kyogoku, I didn't know you liked that type.
Yeah.
And like, so it was like everyone but Kyogoku was aware. Yeah,
and started to get the idea that, oh, he's just he's a drag queen like the other men that that they hang out with,
but kind of like a better one. I don't want to say better, but like it's less obvious that they're dudes.
I kind of liked it that they showed the the other two drag queens like feel bad at Maki and like, oh, like Kyogoku. You gotta be wrong about Kyogoku. He's definitely not Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Kyogoku. I just love in that scene, everyone's like, no, Sherlock's wrong.
Yeah.
What's happening? That's not right. It could never be him.
He was wrong.
Yeah, everyone's like, no, it can't be him. And then they're like, wait, what's happening? And it's like, oh, Sherlock thinks that Jack the Ripper is like Gokun. That's wrong. I was like, wow.
And okay. I think they figured it out when he was when he was doing his Rakuku thing.
Yeah, when he's doing the Rakugo, that's why they all ran out.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh shit, we're going to go find this person and get the money. Because it's like in the middle of that, everyone realized who it was. Because it's like, oh, if it's not Kyogoku, who has been really tied to Kyogoku in the past couple episodes.
Yeah.
Or assumedly in the show, like for the past couple, like maybe weeks or months or something. Like who's been tied to him.
Yeah.
I loved. So my absolute favorite part of this episode was, I want to say like Maki's breakdown.
Oh.
From being like, no, it's not me. I could never kill someone. To just screaming that Kyogoku is disgusting.
Yeah.
And yelling that they were going to cut like Sherlock's like hands and fingers and ears off. And I was like,
yeah, that insanity mode was just
Jesus.
Pretty awesome. It was creepy as hell, but I liked it.
I loved it. It was probably my favorite moment in this entire show so far.
I'm just glad that, they put the plot twist in a way like finding out who the killer is. It's just, you wouldn't think it was them and think it was him. And it's just that you wouldn't think, I mean, you obviously don't care about the person that much to think it can't be him. It's just like, because I kind of hate when they like make you care about a certain someone and you find out that
they're the murderer.
Yeah, and it's just like you can't see that person as a murderer, and it just ruins the whole thing.
Like how we can't see Kyogoku as a murderer.
Yeah,
he's not smart enough. No,
I'm glad with the Kyogoku.
You're right. This was such a that's why I'm not super upset about it, and I'm not too upset that I'm wrong. Like I'm really glad that I was wrong because I was like, this was a great reveal. Like, it was a beautiful reveal. It was, like, a well-written and, like, well-acted, like, amazingly acted scene. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of scared. I'm like, there's no way that the English dub is going to live up to this insanity. I was like, there's no way.
I heard it's the English dub already, but I'm not sure they're up to the same episodes as...
I don't know. I refuse. I like a lot of the Japanese voice actors, and so I'm like, I refuse.
I know how you feel about dubs.
I refuse. Also, I like Maki's voice actor.
Okay.
Maki is voiced by Ayumu Murase, and he is...
Does he do the voice of both Maki and Jack?
Yeah.
They sounded completely different when he...
Yep, it was one person.
Voice. Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Which, like, I'm like, put that also into context for that. That, like, that's one person. He is also the voice of, like, Hinata in Haikyuu, of, I think, Ginro in Dr. Stone.
Oh, okay. I know who Ginro is.
Yeah, I'm like, he usually voices kind of, like, younger dudes and all kind of just, like, adorable ball of sunshine. That you're just like, I won't let anyone hurt you ever. But, like, that was amazing. It was a beautiful performance. And, like...
Yeah.
It was just so amazing. And I'm like, never gonna get over how good it was. And then Moriarty kills him.
Oh yeah, I was not expecting that to happen because I thought they was gonna do the whole
justice,
the justice thing, and they went the opposite. Like yes,
yes. Which like, let's talk about that. That was so good. When he killed him, I was like, this is the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. Not because he killed someone, not just because it's like, ooh, Moriarty killed someone, that makes us amazing. It was that, like, he killed someone for revenge. And TV shows, a lot of times, and media always wants to do, like, no, never kill someone for revenge. Everyone is redeemable.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
that is not always correct. Not everyone is redeemable. There are some people that are just the way they are, and they're gonna stay the way they are. They're never gonna
change.
Go to the other side. And it's just, what I hate is that they avoid that type of plot because it's easier to follow the whole
everyone's redeemable.
Not just that, it's just that
don't become the monster too, is the other one. It's like, no, if you kill them, you're no better than them.
What I don't like is that this plot line has become so overdone that's become a cliche that the character doesn't kill the person. It's just like every single thing that you watch is about this, and it's just like it becomes boring. It's just like, because you already know what happens, and it's just like, he's not gonna kill the guy. So when they go to this route of him actually going to kill the person, it's more interesting because you don't see it a lot. And another thing is that I would like to see the person deal with revenge and, live with the fact that they did revenge. And I would like to see the way a person thinks about those things. It's like, what ways you will behave if you actually did go to the revenge path. We never get to see that in media. We always see the other part, and it just gets boring that we don't get to see that. I mean, I don't like that we don't get to see the other part of that in media. It's just so much more interesting when you see a person go to revenge than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously, like, small spoiler for the very beginning of the next episode is that Moriarty's in jail.
Yeah.
For murder.
Yeah, it is illegal.
Which is, like, fair. But I'm like, that's going to definitely follow up on your desire to see. I mean, my also desire to see kind of like, because he's not just like a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah.
He like killed someone who like the understanding has been terrorizing the city.
Yeah.
And killed his sister.
Which I think, to be honest with you, I think anybody has a chance to kill someone. You don't see it in them. It's just, I just find it more interesting when you see a person you don't think had the guts to kill to actually go do it. And it's just, it puts a whole different perspective on things. I don't know. I just feel like this show is taking a more interesting path because it's doing things that other shows don't do.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. I honestly give this episode 10.
10 out of 10. I give Ayumu Murase's performance 10 out of 10. He's a good voice actor. I like him.
Yeah, it was a really good episode, and I'm glad we finally got up to this point.
I feel like I have more feelings, and I just don't know what they're all just like. Ayumu Murase did so well. And, like, that was such a good performance. That was such a good reveal. Like, I've never been more happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
About my guess. Because it was, like, super shocking. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how? Why? What's happening?
I think it was kind of funny how you said that you didn't care what Alex said about the...
I didn't...
And you love this one.
I gotta... Because I'm just like, okay, whatever. It was, like, shiny and like, oh, I love you. Don't think of the world as a bad place. The world's like... I mean, it was obviously one of those, like...
being cold-hearted. Yeah. I get what she was trying to say, though.
And I mean, it was beautifully, like, positioned with, like, he was told that this was the last thing his sister said.
Yeah.
Right? And then the weirdo was, like, basically said, I ate her womb. Right?
Yeah.
And then he killed him. And I was like, that was an interesting, like, tiny little... Because it was only, like, what? Let's call it a minute and a half. For all that to take place. Like, that was a very interesting minute and a half of being told, like, she was dying and was like, no, I want my brother to, like, still believe in people and believe in the world. And it's almost like he's going to do that. And then that weirdo is like, oh, yeah, she was delicious. Yeah. And then he was like, nope.
Yeah, this guy is too much. I'm freaking kill him.
Nope. And I was like, that was just, like, an interesting way to kind of show that, like, it didn't really end up meaning anything.
No, I still think it meant something.
It means something, but, like...
It pushed Moriarty to get mad.
It killed him.
And it killed Jack. It pushed him to that limit.
And the world is still a bad place.
Yes.
So, like...
Yeah.
But, like...
I guess she wants him to have the good in him, which is... It is kind of true.
That's wonderful. Whatever. The world is sunshine and rainbows. Whatever. Gross.
But yeah.
Such a good episode. I loved the reason... Because you find out that, right, that the dad put the transmitter in Moriarty's clothes.
Yeah. You know, that plot twist I was not expecting as well. I was not expecting that Ryan wanted to kill Moriarty.
Well, and then he knows that it's his son. Like, because for a second I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't know that it's his son. But then I was like, oh, but if you put the transmitter in the clothing, like, he knows that it's his son. And so I'm like, what did James do?
Yeah, I wonder what did James do?
That made him want to, because, like, so I have not seen past the, like, next 2 episodes. Because I was like, if I do, I'm not going to be able to not spoilers. We've seen how it's worked for me. I don't do well. I can't, like, my brain can't handle it. So I'm now doing much more episodic for it, which means I'm so far behind.
I know.
I care so much and I just want to binge watch all of it. And I may just do that and just hope that my brain forgets. I have goldfish brain anyway lately. No, dude, I really do. This morning, I asked a person, I was like, oh, what size coffee do you want? And they told me. And I was like, oh, do you have a roast preference? And they told me. And I was like, do you want room for cream or sugar? And they told me. And I turned around and was just like, oh my God, what size was it? What kind of coffee is it? Do they want room? In the time that it literally just took me to turn around. Could not remember any of those things. Could not remember any of those things. So I'm hoping that my goldfish brain will work and I'll get to experience it and then I'll forget.
Because I noticed the season is going to end in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's almost over.
Yeah. I
hope that this is just this season. I hope that this doesn't get another season. I hope that this is just a contained 24 episodes.
We'll see if it has another season. I don't know.
It just gets this one. I feel like when you have a contained, and I mean,
one season show,
or even just it's only 2 seasons. When you have a contained show, I sometimes find them better written.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
You have the time to be this is what we want to convey. Yeah, you'll still kind of end up with those weird kind of filler episodes, Like, we all remember the beauty of, like, Kyogoku's weird, like, storybook. This is what I want for my life. Weirdo. It was a weird moment. It endeared him to me. I love him forever. But, like, I just think if it's going to have the one season, then it's, like, beautiful and contained. And I think not America does better at that. They do better at saying this is going to be, like, 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Europe does really well with it. They do a lot of, like, this is a 10, like, episode long thing.
Pretty much.
And that's all it ever is. And sometimes I think that makes them better.
Yeah, because Americans like to laugh shows last forever.
God, Jesus. And then they get bad at one point, too, right? Like, The Office.
Yeah, it got bad after
Michael left?
Yeah, and the thing is that they could have made it better, but they didn't know how to. Because to me, when I watched it, I saw how they could make this better, and they didn't. It's just like...
The Office was hard, too, because you could also tell as soon as Steve Carell left that so much of that show hinged on just, like, his personality and his character.
Yeah.
And, like, there were ways to fix it, but just, like, so much of the show hinged on him. You can see it in, like, the last season of Scrubs. That, like, Scrubs fans will say it doesn't have that last season. That last season just doesn't exist. Where they tried to, like, hand it off to new people.
Because, to be honest with you, I did not like the idea of Andy and his... I forgot his girlfriend. Aaron? Yeah, breaking up. That was, like, a stupid plot line.
I love them together, and they deserve
it fucking ruined the show for me.
That is also... Yeah, that is one of the moments where I was like, no, this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, the last episode was nice. Like, the series finale was nice.
Yeah.
It was cute. But I was like, the lead up to this wasn't... Like, there were certain moments, right? Like, there were moments, like, Robert California was kind of a good character at certain points. But it still wasn't, like, amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like that's an American TV problem. And maybe it's more of a sitcom problem, right? More than, like, dramatic shows or anything.
I don't know.
Maybe it's more of a sitcom problem, because that's where you see it a lot. Scrubs. Maybe the last Parks and Rec season. And it depends on your view on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. What else is there to mention for this episode?
Warren got his daughter killed. Assumedly, he got his favorite child killed.
Yeah, and that. It just makes you wonder. I mean, because I thought he wanted Alex killed because she has a condition, and I thought that condition was probably costing him, so he wanted to get rid of her, and maybe. But yeah, it was kind of maybe he wants to get rid of her because of that. So it's just.
Yeah, but then you find out from the crazy guy.
Yeah,
that he only killed Alex because he was following the transmitter, and that she was wearing James's clothing. Clothes.
I'm like, oh shit!
And it's like,
she does look like him when
they have the same eyes. That's why they have the same eyes and they have the same bangs. That's why in the last episode. So when they show you her picture, they've never shown you her picture before, like the last episode.
Yeah.
Or the episode before. I think it was the last one, though. They show you her picture. And that was my immediate thought. I was like, she looks like Moriarty.
Yeah.
And I do remember being like, I bet this is his sister. And then I was like, would he kill his sister? But then I was like, I guess if you really don't like your sibling, you could kill them.
Yeah.
And then there was that flashback. And that's when I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
There's no way he killed his sister. Because that's what I went into this episode still believing. I was like, maybe he is still Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I went to believing that he was Jack the Ripper until they show that part.
Yeah, and then it was my hopes were immediately, I was like, oh shit, I have no clue what's happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's Jack the Ripper? And then I was like, they showed me and I'm like, wait, who dat? I was like, who are you? And then I was like, oh, you dress up like the lady. And then I was like, who are you actually? You're weird.
You know, I was wondering, did everyone knew that Irene was not dead except for Watson?
I think the only people that knew were Moriarty and Sherlock.
Oh, because they didn't show anybody else being pissed off at Sherlock.
I don't think she was, because Irene's not at the reveal. Is she?
No, I think she is.
Oh. Maybe they just don't show you that because it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, or it's going to come up later.
Yeah.
But like, because Miss Hudson's emotion looks genuine.
Yeah, it did look very genuine, so
when
I wasn't
she was,
sure.
Like, crying, and like obviously Kyogoku believed it.
Yeah.
Because he was making those statements of like, oh, yeah, we can't sit in regret when someone has died.
Yeah.
But then it's also, you kind of have to think, oh, you can't tell Kobayashi probably, he's too stupid to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Michael will probably get drunk and maybe tell people, because that's all he does, is drink. Lucy and Mary, question mark?
Yeah.
You know? That's an interesting thing, though. It's like, who knew? It might have just been Moriarty and Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this was such a good episode.
It was a good episode. Really good one.
I think about it and I'm just like, wow, it was amazing. Ayumu Murase did so well.
Yeah.
He's such a good voice actor.
See, there isn't much to talk about right now. I think we cover all our bases.
I think we covered everything because I'm trying to just think if there's anything else that I'm like missing that I want to.
Oh, that was an interesting analogy about angels having no gender, because I've always seen angels and devils that way.
Do they have no gender?
Yeah. I mean, they show in fiction that they take forms of the particular gender just to fool you. But
that they don't have a...
Yeah, they don't have a gender. Because Lucifer does that. I mean, they just take forms of a human being. They really don't have a gender. They just take forms of a human being just to trick the human being. Yeah. It's more like of an energy thing, so...
It reminds me of... Have you seen Devilman Crybaby? The, like, Netflix anime?
I've heard of the anime, but I never saw it.
It's really
My
good.
boyfriend saw it, but I never saw it.
So it's really good. It's really violent. It's very much in the style of, like, old, kind of, like, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Animation style, but a lot, like, cleaner and smoother.
Mm-hmm.
One of the like, main villain...
Yeah.
is an angel that just has no genitals but boobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I don't know why. When they were talking about angels, that was the only thing that came into my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also hilarious because that character is voiced by the same person that voices Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
They share the same voice actor.
Okay. I'll check that out.
It's really good. It's sad. It gets really sad at one point. Like, it's depressing. It's a good one, though. It's definitely one where it's like, people are the problem. Like human people, like, we are the bad guys. And mob mentality is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Okay.
But I don't think a lot of people people watched it, but I think the animation style turned people off, that it looked older. There's a lot of boobs. Like, there's so many boobs.
I really don't care if it's old, because I've watched things that's pretty old.
Yeah. I mean, it's not old. It's just like the style is much older because the manga is old.
Yeah.
So the style is done in a similar style. And then there's a lot of boobs.
Okay.
It means that, like, it's not something you would have going in the background at, like, work or something, because this is, like, a lot of boobs.
Okay.
There's a lot of violence. Okay, well, do you have anything else to add? 10 out of 10 for you?
No, I have nothing else to add. Yeah, I already said that earlier.
Yeah, I'm just like, this was a 10 out of 10 for you. I loved it. I thought this was a really good episode. I'm kind of sad that it happened so early.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Season. I thought that this was going to be a, like, entire season.
But I'm kind of glad they did that, because then they didn't drag it out. And it's just like,
That's true.
They just went to it and be done with it. Now we don't have to have, like...
Who's Jack the Ripper for the rest of the season?
Yeah, and then it gets canceled and you don't find out who Jack the Ripper is. Yeah, I would have hated that.
I would not have liked that. It was just interesting because I was like, wow, I thought this would go, like, on for a lot longer. But I guess once they put it in motion, like, 3 episodes ago, kind of like, it made more sense to follow through and do it all.
Yeah.
And now the second half is a lot more like Moriarty in prison. To be fair, though, as soon as I watched this, I was like, what's the rest of the show going to be about?
Yeah, I was wondering that, but we already know. I think it's to go through with what...
The thing that we have always wanted to see really happen.
Yeah, so. And we're probably going to find out why Moran wants to kill Moriarty.
Why does he want to kill his son?
Yeah.
What is it? The questions are now, why does he want to kill his son? Where's Kyogoku? How's his life going? That poor man has been through a lot. He got drugged. Why is Michael Belmont just there?
It's just funny because it's like, when I look at Moran, all I see is Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, because that's what anyone sees when they look at him now. That's what I thought when I saw him. I was like, good Jesus. Well, is it going to say a lot that that's what he looks like and that he tried to kill his own son? Does that say a lot?
I don't know.
Who knows? It's a mystery. I want to know Michael Belmont's background now.
We still haven't found out his background or Miss Hudson's background.
Yeah, Miss Hudson background. That's what I need. I need to know more about Miss Hudson. I kind of want to know about that random bartender guy that's just there sometimes.
Oh.
He just there. What's his story? How does he feel about everything that's like going on around him? Like, I want an episode that's just from his perspective.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening.
I want to know about the other two friends that Maki had.
The other two cross-dressers?
Yeah.
What's their deal? How did they meet Maki?
Or how do they know Miss Hudson, too?
How do they know Miss Hudson? Did they ever think that Maki was a murderer? So many questions that I don't feel like are going to be answered because I bet they're now irrelevant and no one cares.
Well,
we can only hope to learn Michael Belmont backstory and Miss Hudson backstory.
I can't wait to talk about the next episode because
that next one is a good one.
That one is so weird and hilarious.
That one is weird. That one is very filler that doesn't seem like filler, but is filler, but also is kind of not.
Yeah.
And it's hard to place which it is. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, am I going to call this a filler episode? But I'm like, it's really not. But it kind of feels like it.
That's like what No Gun's life is like.
Yeah, but I'm like, you do get story, but like the middle part is kind of filler. But it's still really funny.
Yeah.
And really cute. Poor Kyogoku. He's just had a hard little life now. That poor man. He didn't sign up for this. He didn't sign up for dating a murderer. To be fair, though, Kyogoku totally could have caught Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
Had he been more like on it. And better.
Yeah.
He was like with Jack the Ripper for extended periods of time. Like if anyone could have caught Jack the Ripper.
Well, he was turned on by him.
Her. It.
Yeah.
Them. I don't know. I don't know what to call Maki. Her? Her. I'm going to go with her. I guess that's all. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this. We enjoyed it. We finally got to the best episode so far. Like or subscribe to us on whatever you listen to podcasts on. And I think we'd like to want you guys let us know what you guys think about the plot twist when it came to who Jack the Ripper was. And tweet us. I think it's at animemaxpodcast. Yeah, and about Michael Moran being... And not Michael Moran, Mayor Moran to... Why do you think he wants to kill his son? Yeah. I mean, the answer may be out there already. We're real behind. Yeah. So the answer may have been answered already. Who knows? It's like a mystery right now. Don't tell us if it's already answered. Or do. I'm fine with that. You can spoilers. I don't hide from spoilers, except in Persona games. Yeah, tweet at us. It's Anime Max Podcast. Tell us what you think. Also, tell us if you like this format where we moved through the recap a lot faster. Yeah. It was done for this one for a specific reason, but like, if you like this format, let us know. We can definitely figure out how to think about doing and changing a little bit. I think we're fairly fluid to change. Thank you for listening, and we will do the next episode soon. Yeah. Bye. Bye, guys.